welcome music lovers to Big Sandy's Eclectic American Countdown Show. Warren Smith, first recorded for Sam Phillips at Sun Records in Memphis. Here he is, live on the Gene Williams Country Junction, the great Warren Smith.
I guess you never met her, boy, but she was a dream. She was a queen, my everything. One night we had a quarrel, and I don't know what for. She walked through the door with all my dreams. That's why I sing in a honky-tonk where lights are low. Broken hearts by hundreds, I see them come and go. That's why I sing in a honky-tonk sad melody, so this broken heart of mine will have some company. This is where she left me, boy, and here's where I'll stay. Here I will play my life away, hoping for the day to come when she will return. Her kisses will burn my hurt away. That's why I sing in a honky-tonk where lights are low. Broken hearts by hundreds, I see them come and go. That's why I sing in a honky-tonk sad melody, so this broken heart of mine will have some company.
Thank you very much. Was I farther from your conscience standing face to the wall? I suspected there was something that you weren't telling me, and last night I learned the reason for it all. I was looking through your window, saw you kissing someone else. You reached up and turned my picture slowly face to the wall, face to the wall, so you wouldn't have to see anything at all to make you think of me. Did the cheapness of the moment make you feel ashamed and small? Was I farther from your conscience standing face to the wall? Alone out in the darkness were the eyes that worship you. As you cheated me, I watched my idol fall. Your arms around another, his lips where mine should be. Then I saw you turn my picture slowly face to the wall, face to the wall, so you wouldn't have to see anything at all to make you think of me. Did the cheapness of the moment make you feel ashamed and small? Was I farther from your conscience standing face to the wall? Thank you, Donnie. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, what can I say? Pure perfection right there, from one of the great voices of all time in country music, Farron Young. Along with another one of the great voices of all time in country music, Johnny Paycheck. Then known as, you know it, Donnie Young. Now the trouble that those two got up to. My goodness. Along with some of their other musical cohorts. They kind of laid the groundwork for troublemaking and honky-tonkers and country outlaws for years to come. We'll have more of Johnny Paycheck as the show unfolds. But for now, just because he's one of my biggest honky-tonk heroes, Faron Young.
Well, this old picture is so faded you can hardly see. And that smiling face there in the middle, well, you can see it's me. And that pretty girl there on my left was mine to hold the time, but I lost her to my friend there on the right. And that big house you see there in the background, that big shiny car I bought to drive her around. And just to keep her happy, I worked hard both day and night. Now it all belongs to my friend there on the right. The picture told the truth, but I was oh so blind. I was the guy in the middle of the fight. I built my hopes up till they were out of sight, and watched her walk away with my friend there on the right. Picture showed the truth, but I was oh so blind. I was the guy in the middle all the time. I built my hopes up till they were out of sight, and watched her walk away with my friend there on the right. I watched her walk away with my friend there on the right.
Big Sandy's Eclectic American Countdown Show. The fantastic Salty and Maddie. Now Salty was Salty Holmes. He's the fellow of the group. Well, his partner, Maddie, was actually Gene Chappelle, recorded for Sun Records. Welcome to the club. You know the song. Do you know these songs? Here's Salty and Maddie.
Now mama don't allow no music played around here. Now mama don't allow no music played around here. No, we don't care what mama allows, we're gonna play our music anyhow. Now mama don't allow no music played around here. Now mama don't allow no fiddle played around here. Now mama don't allow no fiddle played around here. But she don't care what mama allows, she gonna play that fiddle anyhow. Now mama don't allow no fiddle played around here. Mama don't allow no banjo played around here. Now mama don't allow no banjo played around here. But she don't care what mama allows, she gonna play that banjo anyhow. Now mama don't allow no banjo played around here. Now mama don't allow no yodeling done around here. Now mama don't allow no yodeling done around here. But she don't care what mama allows, she gonna yodel anyhow. Now mama don't allow no yodeling done around here. Now mama don't allow no bass played around here. Now mama don't allow no bass played around here. But she don't care what mama allows, she gonna play that bass anyhow. Now mama don't allow no bass played around here. guitar played around here. Mama don't allow no guitar played around here. But she don't care what Mama likes, go play the guitar anyhow now. Mama don't allow no guitar played around here. A little song here I kind of wrote up special for the kids. Around Halloween night, it'd be a good time to do.
Howdy, Roots music fans. Welcome to Ranch House Pickin' Party, Volume 2. Just like in Volume 1, we've assembled a posse of the best pickers in Americana. Today's episode of Eclectic American Roots focuses on several guitar, piano, and fiddle players who are putting their stamp on today's roots music scene with their own original material. Helping to keep musical roots alive today is boogie-woogie blues and jazz pianist Carl Sonny Leyland, who also specializes in rockabilly, vintage jazz, and swing. Leyland toured for 3 years with Big Sandy and his Fly-Right Boys, and currently is a member of Dave Stuckey's band, the Four Hoot Owls. Then we'll meet guitarist Chris Wilkinson, who relocated from the United Kingdom to Sacramento. In England, he shared time with the Zazu Cowboys and the Radio Ramblers, as well as the Jive Aces, Elana James, and Charlie Thompson. He currently plays with his jaw-dropping trio, the Sweet and Low Melody Company. And then Rusty Blake. He's a double threat on guitar and steel guitar, from Hawaiian to country to Western swing and back again. He's used those talents in the Lucky Stars and other bands, such as the Barn Door Slammers in Portland, where he now hangs his hat. The Quavy sisters, Grace, Sophia, and Hulda, play fiddle and sing in 3-part harmony. Imagine if the Andrews sisters joined Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys. You'll be in Western swing heaven with these siblings. Then, Big Sandy digs into his vast vintage vaults to show the roots of where this music comes from. His segments are thoroughly researched and thoroughly entertaining.
Well, I don't believe you bought that hat, and I don't believe you found it. And I don't believe you brought that hat so we could dance around it. I believe it belongs to your new man. I believe he ran and hid. Now tell me who that rascal is before I flip my lid. Baby, whose hat is that? It's hanging by your door. You should have told the rat that owns that hat who that hat hook is for. I got a simple question here that you simply can't ignore, and that's whose hat is that? Whose hat is that? Don't tell me, baby, whose hat is that? I know it don't belong to me. Now you keep on singing, everything's all right, but it feels all wrong to me.
Let's meet our hosts for today's Ranch House Pickin' Party, Volume 2. Saddle pals Dave Stuckey and Sage Guyton are talented musicians who are members of the fabled vintage Western swing band, the Lucky Stars. Guyton is lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter, and is also one of the composers on the Nickelodeon animated franchise, SpongeBob SquarePants. Welcome back to the ranch, Sage Guyton.
All right, well, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. I am happy and lucky to have with me here again today, reprising his role as the co-host for the Ranch House Pickin' Party. A man who needs no introduction, yet still deserves an introduction. You know him, you love him from his many musical acts, including the Dave and Deke Combo, Dave Stuckey and the Rhythm Gang, Dave Stuckey and the Four Hoot Owls, Dave Stuckey and the Hot House Gang. I've already given away the answer, I'm afraid to say. Let me introduce to you, please welcome, Ameripolitan Award winner and my dear friend, Dave Stuckey. I call him Pappy. Come on, Pappy. Come on in here now.
Well, Mr. Guyton, I sure do appreciate that. It is extra fun to be back. See, I've now got a clause. I won't do any of these shows unless you're the co-host. See, so.
That was in my rider as well.
Okay, good. So we're clear on that. We got a big show today, don't we, my friend?
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of great guests. I'm excited for it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. But first of all, often my favorite part of the Eclectic American Roots shows, Let's introduce, we got segment number one from the one, the only, the historian, Big Sandy.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Big Sandy here with a very special edition of Ranch House Picking Party. Today, along with the Ranch House Picking, Ranch House Plucking, Bass Plucking. Let's kick into it right now with the very last of the red-hot Nashville bass slappers, Joe Zinkin, Whispering.
Well, Jerry, this longtime friend of yours and mine is quite an artist on that bass, isn't he?
I'll tell you, Judd, Joe is one of the few bass players left that uses the old slap-style method of playing.
Yeah. He's played with a dozen performers here on the Opry, I know. He's featured right now on the instrument that made him famous. Here is Joe Zinkin, right here.
Country music all over the dial, picking and a grinning, picking and a grinning, picking and a grinning on the radio show. So I tuned up my fiddle and greased up the bow and got me a job on the Jimmy Dean show, picking and a grinning, picking and a grinning, picking and a grinning on the Jimmy Dean show. Now come on, Jimmy, don't be slow. Hand me down, old man Joe. We're picking and a grinning, grinning and a picking, picking and a grinning on the Jimmy Dean show. Well, we played the fiddle and the old man Joe got to pick a tune like Bill Monroe. We're picking and a grinning, grinning and a picking, picking and a grinning on the Jimmy Dean show. Well, old Jimmy looks a little bit tired. If I don't quit soon, I might get fired. I'm picking and a singing, singing and a picking, picking and a singing on the Jimmy Dean show. Well, I think he robbed the music store. Hey, Jim, what you got some more? Picking and a grinning, grinning and a picking, picking and a grinning on the Jimmy Dean show. Well, you want to have fun and do it right. See Jimmy Dean next Friday night. We're picking and a grinning, picking and a grinning, grinning and a picking, picking and a grinning, grinning and a picking on the Jimmy Dean show. Picking and a grinning. Yo, man.
Yeah, boy. And what would a ranch house picking party be without a little picking and grinning and singing and plucking and slinging? Joe Maphis. He could do it all and make it look easy. And now, from one Joe to another, let's take a look at some beautiful rare color footage of Shorty Joe and the Red Rock Canyon Cowboys coming to you live from Tracy Gardens in San Jose, California. so fine. The way I see it, a film clip's grooviness can far outweigh its graininess. Judy Lynn right there with her show band stretching out on a swinging instrumental. Judy was from Boise, Idaho, and became quite popular here out west on the casino circuit for many years. And it's all welcome here at the old ranch house. I'll be right back as our show continues. Don't go away.
All right, this is a very cool thing to start off on, folks, for the show. It's a guy that we've known for quite some time and always admired his work. When he was over in the United Kingdom, we knew about him, and he's now over here. We know about him even more. And we've got him on the show to show you his picking prowess, because it's a picking party after all. And a little extra, we're going to tell you. He's a multifaceted young man. Please welcome to the show, Chris Wilkinson.
Yes. Hey, Chris.
Hey, thank you so much for the intro. Gosh.
Oh, great to have you, man. It really is. We're big fans, as you know.
Well, right back at you.
The fun part about this show is, we get to just like pick people that we admire, musicians that we like and look up to, and get a chance to hang out and talk with them. And in this case, we also know you, so it's a rare opportunity.
It's a rare opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Well, could you? We know your backstory. Could you just give us the short rundown of Chris Wilkinson, how he got to this point, and your many travails.
Many of your viewers and everyone may not know me by name, and I forgive them for that. That's fine. But I've played a little bit in groups back in the UK, and I began doing kind of artwork things for my own projects and my friends' projects, and that kind of snowballed. And I got married 5 years ago, and I moved here to Sacramento, California, beautiful place. And, I've been kind of carrying on the same shtick ever since, just brought it over here, and it seems to still be working.
That's right. Now. Yeah. We first, of course, heard of you with the bands you played over with in the UK, one of which, a compatriot in one of those bands, was on the Picking Party Volume 1, and that's Willie Briggs.
Absolutely, yeah. We had exactly. It's woven in, and we had a band, a Western swing band in the UK, which is kind of a bizarre thing because it's such a small genre anyway. And you'd say, well, why are these British people into it, and how are they doing it, and why? And that was called the Zazu Cowboys, and that was like kind of jazz, kind of Zazu like style stuff, gypsy jazz type stuff mixed with traditional kind of Western swing in a small quartet. And I also had a group before that called the Bonneville Barons, which was just a two-piece with my great friend Jan Majoub. He's a French bass player who lives in the UK, and he was kind of in all of my musical projects really in the UK. That fantastic player and everything, and so that was really tough to leave. But when I moved over to here, of course, you try and suss out, who plays a similar kind of thing. And I was really lucky with the area I moved to. Sacramento's got a great history of jazz. Has a jazz jubilee for many years, and Sacramento just Western swing kind of hub really since the early 50s. So I was in a good spot, just lucky really.
When you like a kind of music that's maybe not, commercially popular, whatever you want to call it, we're in the modern world. A lot of this stuff is like Latin or something to a lot of people. But when you find your guys, whether it's in the UK, where it's probably even harder, or here, which is not all that easy either, you just recognize it right away. Like, okay, you get it. All right, let's play. It's an amazing thing. They seem to find each other. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. I have philosophy. I think in life you end up kind of gravitating to, you find what it is you're supposed to do and who you're supposed to be with, and all those things kind of present themselves. And I've always felt that you just, it ends up coming to where you ought to be. But I feel there's a lot of luck involved as well, because there's just certain people at the right time. You just meet these individuals who
I agree with the luck part, but I think it's also about preparation for the moment when the luck is there for you. So you spend all that time practicing and listening and getting good at what you're good at, so that when that moment comes and you have that opportunity to meet somebody, there you are playing guitar, and they're like, "What? This guy just moved to Sacramento and he's here and I can play guitar with him." I mean, that's how people feel when they get the chance to meet a new musician like that.
Yeah.
And I know that you have been recently playing up there with Zach and some other folks up there. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing up in Sacramento recently, Chris.
Yeah, we've pretty much the kind of primary musician I was introduced to was bass player Zach Sapinor, who's fantastic. He's a professional musician. Because I've always been a hobbyist. I've always had bands, and that's been fun. But I've always had like a 9-to-5, and he's So as soon as I got hooked up with him, and he just got me in on so many gigs, and fantastic player, and just the kind of musical connection when you meet that person, and your ideas go so much further once they've kind of met with someone else. And so he got me on a ton of gigs, and we kind of started making a couple of projects. One was themed around his ideas, slightly more kind of R&B-ish, and one was more kind of mine, which is a kind of bizarre, kind of Western, kind of jazzy, kind of harmony, kind of thing. And so, yeah, I had to get him in on a couple of these music clips. I wanted to do something, at least to show off some of those original tunes that we've been working on, and him as a player too. Fantastic guy.
So this is 2/3 of the Sweet and Low Melody Company.
That's it. That's the band we've been working on up here. Yeah.
Yeah, with the great Olin Dillingham, who is really, he's your connection to Sacramento history, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just briefly, Olin is you got to look him up. He's one of those guys that's got the kind of first-hand connection to people like Tiny and Jimmy Rivers and Vance. All the kind of Northern California royalty of kind of hillbilly jazz stuff that is incredible to know someone who has played with these people, and then he slums it and plays with me occasionally. And it's unbelievable.
He's so excited. The young guy's doing it, I'm sure.
It's a great match. Hey, let's look at that. We've been talking about original music. So let's see one of your original tunes right now. What do you favor playing first?
Let's do the kind of more Western swing or Western one. It's called Riding the Trail.
All right, here's Chris and Zach, 2/3 of the Sweet and Low Melody Company, playing Riding the Trail. Come on, let's see it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Trail.
All right, that was Chris's new effort here in Northern California.
So good, Chris.
Great. Oh boy, that's like I said before, it's 2/3 of the Sweet and Low Melody Company. But let's talk about your third, who is the great Olin Dillingham, who plays fiddle and electric mandolin with you guys.
And
right?
yeah, electric mandolin, who you've had the pleasure, I think, to play with once or twice, maybe on a gig. I think you've heard him in person, and he's astounding. You know, when I first came here, he was playing in a group with Zach, and they have a Western swing, kind of traditional Western swing quartet, and that is called the Sacktown Playboys with Jeff Miller and some other kind of local luminary guys. Sure. And Olin it was like, holy smokes, he learned, or certainly did some time with Tiny Moore, and he was involved with when Tiny had a shop here in Sacramento, and he had lessons and everything, and so Olin and him would pal around. And the weirdest thing is when you're hearing stories, and it's not just like, oh, I was a fan of this person, but they were contemporaries. They would play on gigs together, and they did gigs like the Sacramento Jazz Jubilee I mentioned earlier. Used to be a huge deal up here, and Olin has some, even has some tapes of him playing that in a group with the great, led by Jimmy Rivers. Fantastic kind of hillbilly jazz guitar royalty. I wouldn't even say like hillbilly, just like straight up jazz. They were those guys that just were insanely talented and played, that crazy kind of concoction of jazz and Western influence, but really, really special stuff. And so I had the pleasure of kind of playing with Olin and getting him in on the original tunes. Obviously can't hear him on there, but he just adds so much. And it's a real thrill to hear that sound. You've heard Tiny, tearing it up on the 5-string electric mandolin, and then you hear Olin play, and it's uncanny. But he has his own style. That's not to, he's not a copyist in any way, but he's just, he's definitely that link.
I think it's worth mentioning that some folks don't. There's a lot of Western swing in Southern California because of the defense plants and people that wanted that kind of music from Texas and Oklahoma and that. But there was also a huge scene in Northern California. Bob Wills had a resort basically in Sacramento called Wills Point. And so all those guys congregated there. Tiny Moore was the fantastic mandolin player on many Bob Wills records. And Vance Terry was up there. Billy Jack Wills, the youngest Wills brother, had his own band. And so you're right in the continuum now, my friend.
Yeah, it's nuts. Kind of, you pinch yourself and you go, man, these same places. Because I sometimes ask people, could you point out, because Wills Point is gone.
Yeah.
All these places like Tiny's old shop. Unfortunately, it's not. He had a music store and he taught lessons and everything, and none of these places are still going in that sense. But there's people who are able to kind of pinpoint what exit all these things are off of, and you can kind of visit. But yeah, like you say, Wills Point was a huge resort music leisure kind of thing, and just. It was a big kind of base of operations for Billy Jack Wills and all the kind of Wills compatriots.
Yeah.
So it's pretty mind blowing,
Yeah.
And like so many of us, Chris, when you hear this stuff and you grow up listening to it, or you become infatuated with it, you start listening to it all the time, and you endeavor to kind of learn the style and play some of your favorite songs in that style that you've heard. And then for a lot of people, at some point, it gets to where you also want to make your own songs that sound that are influenced by that, or there's some connection where you want to bring it to your own original music.
My older brother was 2 years ahead of me, and he was, he did all this stuff first. He, played music and was in bands and stuff. And I was just young enough to be the annoying younger brother, trying to get in on everything. And so it was, I felt like from the time that I started playing music, I wasn't necessarily good enough to to actually cover things or to play other things, and I would end up kind of almost making my own. It was from the beginning. I felt like I was kind of writing more than I was trying to interpret other people's things. Because you get into that weird kind of middle world where you either try and let's do something different with it and make it like terrible, or you just do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, why bother doing that? So there are people who, don't get me wrong, they just do it in a fantastic way.
We've got another CW original, right? You and Zach again out on the porch.
I tell you.
I think we ought to see it right now. I think we ought to, is this one?
Open Moon.
3, 4.
Amazing song, Chris. I love that, and not only are you a great instrumentalist and so adept on the guitar, but also great singer, songwriter, and lyricist. I have to say, I always love your lyrics, and it's a killer combination. But wait, there's more.
Not to mention drummer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, I have to jump in just quickly before you, because you're so kind and you're always so so generous with that. But in terms of songwriting, you guys were just so influential. It can't be overstated how much the things you would brought out, particularly for us, like in Europe when we're hearing those things, really contributed equally to like original recordings for us as being the driver to want to do the same thing. And so I just have to throw that in there. You're so kind about my songs. And, I got to throw it back.
Well,
thank you.
Appreciate that. It's like we were saying, in this small world of the kind of style that we play, people know each other all over the world that are interested in it. So we're there to support each other and inspire each other. I think that's an ongoing thing. And not only have you contributed so much in terms of music, but so much in terms of art, to album art, flyer art, poster art, and stuff. It is unbelievable, the stuff that Chris does with the visual arts. And we're going to show you some images now as we're speaking, so you can see just a little bit of the crazy stuff that this guy does. He's had the opportunity to work with all different kinds of artists. Chris, who are some of the folks that you've done posters and art for?
People that I admired so much, Hot Club of Cowtown and Jonathan Stout, and just people to me who were like dream clients. The kind of people that you think just really incredible. To be associated with those in any way is such a pleasure. I don't do Facebook or anything like that, and within the last 3 or 4 years, I think I started to make an Instagram page just for artwork. I didn't share pictures of my dinner or anything like that. Artwork stuff.
The two worlds are pulling you. I want you to play more music. I want you to do more art.
Yeah.
There's only so much to go around.
Well, it's all good, So this has really been fun to get to have you on the show.
Yeah, Chris.
Here's some more Sweet and Low, which I'm, as you know, a big fan of. And we hope we see you down the road. I hope we get to do some more shows together. And,
me too. You were so gracious having me, play along with the Hoot Owls and your various kind of Redwood projects and everything when you played up there. So it's truly an honor to be invited and everything in your guys' company. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and thanks for being on the show. It's
very fun talking with you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely, been a ball.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And now it's time to visit our favorite video host, Big Sandy, for more of his marvelous videos.
Thank you, Christopher. Big Sandy back, this time with a guy that we are delighted to have back here on the ranch, our old pal Speedy West. Speedy's checking in from Australia, thanks to the Lagarde twins' on-air TV show, Country Style. Take it away, Speedy.
Here's the king of the steel with the country stylers, Speedy West to do This Ain't the Blues. Speedy West! Yes, sir! Thank you very much, Speedy West and the Country Stylers. Yes, steel players come and go, but boy, he's going to be around for a long time. Listen to a story about a gal I know. She's the music making my mind. My hillbilly boy, she's sweeter than the music when she tickles the strings. Sweeter than the flowers down in New Orleans. She's my music making mama from Memphis, Tennessee. She'll play a little rhythm, do the boogie upright, a Tennessee polka, maybe blues in the night. Everybody travels from near and far to hear her when she picks it on that old guitar. My music making mama from Memphis, Tennessee. son sings slow, singing and a picking on that old banjo. You want to jive when my words roll out of my mouth. Everybody's calling her the queen of the South. She's my fiddle playing mama from Memphis, Tennessee. Play that fiddle, mama. Gets in the groove, takes the big bass, middle also the yodel of blues, puts the downbeat off the beat and the old beat. I break down, I hold down, and does it up neat. She's my bass picking baby from Memphis, Tennessee. Come in, baby. You can tell when my baby is coming to town, all the jive jumping jitterbug together around. I give the yellow to my queen and honey, let's go. My baby starts picking and I'm picking down low. My music making mama from Memphis, Tennessee. She'll play a little rhythm to the boogie upright. I play some polka, maybe blues in the night. Everybody tries from near and far. The hero when she picks it on that old guitar. My music making mama from Memphis, Tennessee.
Hank Snow, the singing ranger, demonstrating right there that he was also the pickin' ranger, talking about his music making mama from Memphis, Tennessee. From Memphis, Tennessee, let's take a little trip to Austin, Texas, where we have some true legends assembled. I'm talking about Texas Playboys Tiny Moore and Johnny Gimble, picking it out with Holman Jethro's Jethro Burns, along with fellow Playboy Eldon Shamblin. Let's take a look. right there. Direct from Jacksonville, Florida, the Glenn Reeves Show Band. Honored guests right here at the Ranch House Picking Party. Friends, if you are enjoying our show so far, you might consider helping out by visiting our virtual tip jar at stellarjacks.com or via Venmo at Jack's Hideaway. I'll be back in just a little bit with some more rare classic clips. Don't go away.
All right, we are very happy to have with us on the show again. He was on the first Pickin' Party with Sage and I, but we're happy to have him back again. He's the king of boogie woogie piano, and he's right here to play and talk with us. Carl Sonny Leyland. Hello, my friend.
Hey, well, thank you. I'm glad of the exposure. You know, people die of exposure, but yes, it feels good.
Not you so far, huh? Okay, well, right.
Yeah, mostly we're starving. That's good. But I think it is proper to mention that because, as we always say, you are actually a member of the Boogie Woogie Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that's
true. I've got a plaque on the wall there.
Oh, nice.
Now I believe it.
Oh yeah, if there's a plaque, you know,
yeah, it didn't cost him much. It didn't cost him much to make it up. It wasn't.
Yeah, right. One of those sports trophy stores.
We all know your history and from the UK, of course, and then came across to the US many years ago. But just tell us a little bit.
I always loved the 50s rock and roll. That was the first thing I liked. And it was having a revival at that time, you know, circa 1970. But then when I got to be 15, I found out about boogie woogie and blues piano. And that really captivated me. And that was what made me begin with the piano. I had not played before that.
Yeah. And then you landed in New Orleans when you finally came to the States.
I did. That was kind of a funny story how that happened. I had gone to Norway for a few months playing in piano bars. You know, they have these hotels there that they'd have a discotheque for, you know, for the hip people and then a piano bar for the older people.
Everyone else.
You know, you do a month in each of these places.
Yeah.
And one place, like it wasn't a hotel, it was like a kind of a roadhouse out in the country. On the weekend, a group from New Orleans came. They were on a tour, a group called Johnny J and the Hitmen. And the fellow that was the lead singer, Jay Beninati, he invited me to stay at his apartment if I could make it out to New Orleans. And so, you know, as soon as I got home from Norway, I bought a plane ticket and I was there. Hi, I'm here.
Remember me? You were mentioning how one of the things you liked about piano, Sonny, is that you could kind of noodle around and find your own way around and make things up and add your own elements to it. And that's one of the things that we've been trying to talk to the people that we've been speaking to on this episode of the show is their connection to original songwriting and original music. Do you remember when you wrote your first song? When you were playing early on?
Well, I do. You know, initially it was my goal to sound like people like Albert Ammons and Meade Lux Lewis, Jimmy Yancey, and I always could improvise around that, but I sort of felt like I was breaking the rules. You know, like I would get as close to those guys as I could. So consequently, if I did something of my own, it was just an improvisation rather than a composition. Mm-hmm. And, you know, then when I got involved with rockabilly a little later on, I did write some songs in that genre. I would tend to write those holding a guitar. That felt more natural for that. But when I went back to focusing on the piano, I did start to put together my own boogie woogies. Gradually, as I gained a little more sophistication, they did start to sound like compositions rather than, you know, endless jam in the key of C.
Yeah. Fantastic. I think let's take a look at Carl Sonny Leyland's some original material on that old piano.
All right, and now a little blues that I wrote relatively recently. It's called I Don't Love You Anymore, but then again, I Don't Love You Any Less. Now looky here, baby, get away from me, waving round your biscuit, trying to dip it in my tea. I don't love you anymore. That's all right, I guess, because the truth is, baby, I don't love you any less. Well, I wouldn't give you a pickle, no, not even for a nickel. Don't tell me you're itching, I ain't gonna give you a tickle, 'cause I don't love you anymore. And I'm tired of this mess. Yeah, but the truth is, baby, I don't love you any less. Pet your kitty, even though it may be pretty. You can furrow your brow, talk about how it's a shame and it's a pity, but I don't love you anymore. But that's all right, I guess, because the truth is, baby, I don't love you any less. No use to look at me come hither, I ain't gonna pluck your zither. You can put that thing away and save it for the rainy weather. I don't love you anymore. But darling, I must confess, oh, that the truth is, baby, I don't love you any less. I don't love you any less. There you have it.
There it is. Yes, sir. Nice one.
That's amazing.
So just a quick question here. How many originals do you think you've put to wax, as it were?
Oh, I don't know. I've lost track.
Quite a few then.
Yeah, quite a few. I between 20 and 30, maybe.
Holy cow!
And there's quite a few that I've never recorded.
Well, you sometimes come down and play with my group, the Hot House Gang, and you've so far hidden that under a bushel basket. So the next time we play, we're bringing Leyland compositions into the right?
Yeah, I'll try and pick out some that can be jammed.
Yes.
That's the thing with originals, isn't it? We get on the bandstand and just have to throw it together. And usually when we try to write our own stuff, we're trying to add in little wrinkles and things that make it different from the standard fare. So
yes.
Consequently, they can be hard to pull off, just jamming on the band.
That's true. Very true. For all of us who play in this sort of whatever you want to call it, Ameripolitan, Americana sort of genre, which is genre music based on music that's, many decades old. And so you're trying to get, like you said, you're trying to do honor to those who you love and who inspired you to play the music in the first part. But where do you feel that there's a place for original music within this genre, don't you think, in terms of adding something to the timeline? I mean,
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, limiting oneself just to reproducing old songs and old performances. I mean, of course, there are interpreters of songs who can, whatever cover they're doing, they can make it their own and bring life to it. But I mean, surely it's important to create something of your own and put your own stamp on it. I like to carry the ethos of people like Jimmy Yancey and Clarence Lofton, but then add in some unexpected elements and stuff that's purely my own.
It's great. I mean, it's great. And I think we ought to take a look at it right now.
Let's listen to Sonny Leyland playing Dance of the Tumbleweeds.
This one is called Dance of the Tumbleweeds, and it was inspired by the sight of what looked to be about 1,000 tumbleweeds blowing along through the field in a windstorm. And it's quite a poetic vision, actually. So I wrote this piece, and if the rhythm sounds a little strange to you, bear in mind it's written in the time signature of 5/4, a CSL original, Dance of the Tumbleweeds.
So that is the Dance of the Tumbleweeds, which I love, man, and I think that's just encapsulates what we've been talking about today, which is taking this form and doing something with it that moves it along this timeline that we all travel up and down.
This 5/4 timeline.
Oh,
that's funny. That's amazing. A boogie in 5/4.
It's crazy.
A boogie in 5/4 is crazy. It's really cool. I have never heard that before. Yeah, for sure.
But let me say, we wanted to talk about. You are the king of festivals. You play blues festivals. You play jazz festivals. You play rockabilly festivals. You've been part of the house band at Viva Las Vegas for I don't know how many years, a decade. I don't know.
More the 20. Since the beginning.
Oh, since Viva Las Vegas won. That's amazing. And so then now here we all are, high and dry, forced vacation for musicians. What do you see? What's your feeling about it coming forward? Because you have done so much work here and abroad and all that, and so it's got to be driving you nuts to be here, as we all are going crazy. But what do you think? What do you see coming forward?
Well, on the positive side, it's given me a chance for a continuity in my practice, which I hadn't had before because I'm constantly going away. I mean, I never after leaving Big Sandy, I've never really done a road gig, so it's a case of many weekends of the year leaving on a Thursday to go to a festival, coming home on a Monday. Of course, the thing of performing in front of a live audience versus a computer screen, there's different stuff involved. There's adrenaline, and that makes one play differently, I think.
Thank you, my friend. Be safe out there in the country. You're a country mouse for sure, and you're way out there. Yeah. So that means you're away from everybody that can bother you.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But we'll look forward to seeing you on stage. I'll look forward to having you play with me and everybody else. In the meantime, pick yourself up Carl Sonny Leyland CD. Thank you so much, Carl Sonny Leyland.
Thank you, Sonny. Great to see you, man.
Thank you, Sage. Thank you, Dave. Thanks.
All right. Take care, buddy.
I think it bears mentioning also that in the midst of all this stuff and people trying to be able to hear music and hear people perform and not being able to go out to clubs as we would all like to, that there's a lot of great stuff going on online. Some of these musicians have things going on. And an important one to keep in mind is our good pal, Pappy, Dave Stuckey here. I don't know which side he's on, who has a show every Tuesday at 2. 10 tunes on Tuesday at 2. Say it with me. 10 tunes on Tuesday at 2.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
It's so much fun. Dave picks 10 songs, usually different songs every week, at least a very, very big mix of different songs every week. He takes some requests, and he always gives a background history about the songs, the songwriters, where they came from. So you'll learn something along the way as well. It's a great show. It's a great format.
Thank you.
Our hosts, Dave and Sage, and I all agree. There is something very special about the Quavy sisters. They play their own brand of progressive Western swing. They continue the old sounds with new feelings, and old feelings with new sounds. Here's a classic video of the Quavy sisters performing at Norman's Rare Guitars in Tarzana.
1, 2, 3.
very favorite groups. With them, you get all kinds of harmony. You get 3 fiddles and you get 3 voices. So you get the whole package with the Quaby sisters, and they're here right now. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome, Hulda, Sophia, and Grace. How are you?
We're good. We're doing great. Yeah. Thank you for having us.
It's very, very exciting. I have a lot of ideas and things to talk about with you, and happy we get the opportunity to do that in these strange times, right? I like how on your website and in conversations you talk about the expression progressive Western swing as a way to describe your music, which makes a lot of sense to me. I think Western swing was never meant to be stodgy or regimented, but more forward-looking than backward-looking. Tell me about how you think about that and how it affects your music and your playing.
Well, we kind of think about the term progressive Western swing as just really a way to like modernize what we feel like was really the initial heart of Western swing. It's dance music, it's supposed to be fun, and we just want to have the spirit that Bob Wills had basically, which is just bringing in influences. He brought in so many things that he had right around him, things that inspired him and that were the local culture that he could grab onto. He pulled it all in, and we love that. We think it's a lot of the spirit of Western swing, and so we want to keep doing that, obviously from a traditional point of view, but we think that's pretty important to highlight that for our genre to keep it going for the future. A lot of times, I forget who said this, was it Duke Ellington? I'd have to go fact check it, but I think he said something like, tradition is innovation, and so just it takes years to call something tradition, but at the time of its, of its birth, a lot of times it's the artists who created it were feeling like they were very innovative. So part of that spirit. That's pretty much what you said.
Well, it makes perfect sense because, like you say, Western swing is the melting pot of a bunch of stuff to begin with. And those guys, when you think about it and you read about Wills, those guys were very hip. I mean, what's that story about Wills rode like 50 miles on a horse to see Bessie Smith? I mean, that's just that tells it all, I think, really. So it makes perfect sense. And you're right. We want to do the honor to the music that we love, but you got to give it some air. You got to give it some modern air and put your own feelings and thoughts about it into it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was never meant to be just nostalgic. It was meant to be forward-looking and excited about new styles and bringing all those things in. One of the many musical interests that we all share, I know that I've heard you talk about before, is the Mills Brothers. No conversation about Western swing would be complete. without the completion or the inclusion of the Mills Brothers. When did you first hear them and hearing those vocal harmonies?
So I specifically remember hearing the Mills Brothers in the back of like a Toyota Camry and driving down the freeway I-35. And I remember that it was at the time it was our former guitar player's wife. She turned on the CD of the Mills Brothers, and I just remember, my brain was like, what? So cool. Yeah. And I just there, a lot of people like to focus on the fact that they are family. And yes, that is something that makes them extremely unique because their voices were similar, but it's really their feel that makes them so incredible. And I mean, John Mills Jr., the guitar player, he played tenor guitar and sang bass at the same time. I'm a better bass player.
Yeah, right.
That's true. I so agree with that. So I mean, the last time I was in Austin, I walked into a bar and somebody had turned on a record of the Mills Brothers, and I was like, I am home.
Yeah.
Only in Texas. Well, that would happen out where y'all are too. Yeah, that's true.
You've heard them on records, and you're to meet them in person. 4 men and a guitar, the Mills Brothers.
Hi, gang. Now if you meet a suntan lady, full alive and hidey, big brown eyes, a little bit shady, that sweet Lucy Brown. Boys in town are dying to meet her. Billionaires line up to greet her. There ain't no gal in Georgia sweeter than sweet Lucy Brown. Now when she talks, she sure sounds funny. Yo, said
we are so happy
when she gets
to have
tastes like honey. I don't mean maybe she's a virgin baby. Listen, fellas, I'm confessing. Take a dip and stop your kiss, and if it's so, then take a lesson from sweet Lucy Brown.
Those brothers, your sisters, other groups like that, from the Louvin brothers to the Boswells and all that, they have that thing. I mean, you guys probably don't think about it, but from the outside, they talk about that thing called blood harmony, that there's better harmonies than there are with people that are related to each other. And I would agree with that. I can't think of any example where people who aren't the Everly brothers or whatever are just as good without being related, you know? Did you find that was easy in the beginning?
You know, in the beginning, for us, it's different because we started out playing fiddle first, and then we started singing. So we never thought of ourselves as singers, especially when we first started out. We named our practice tapes the Wretched Singing Tapes. And we just like number 1, number 2.
Hard to imagine.
We have stacks of Wretched Singing Tapes. I think eventually we dropped the word wretched. Yeah. Because we were like, not the wretched anymore. But yeah, it was. Yeah. For us, with the sibling harmony thing, it was helpful for that we played fiddle and we were understanding parts and we were already doing all of that. Mm-hmm. But when we started singing, I mean, we really it is a different animal than playing, and so we had to learn how to sing together and all that stuff. But
I think the blood harmony thing, people used to always tell us that, sibling harmony, blood harmony, and like you said, it didn't really make sense to me because I would be like, well, the Beatles harmonize really well together and they're not related. I think, though, where it's different, though, the difference between hearing like the Beatles harmonize together and the Mills Brothers is the natural innate vocal tone and word pronunciation that family have. And now I understand what they mean. You can learn how to blend with anyone if you work on that with another person, but there's certain things like the vocal tone that, it's unique. Yeah.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Being you all being from North Texas, I get how you came across Bob Wills, but I want to know how you came across other influences like Django Reinhardt.
It was really through our fiddle teacher. They just introduced us to so much music. They introduced us to Western swing, actually. It wasn't something that, was part of our family where we had relatives necessarily that were playing records for us or anything. It was really, they did. They gave us a CD of Spade Cooley, and they gave us Bob Wills for the last time, and said, hey, go home and listen to this. And Django Reinhardt was the same situation. And so we started listening, and Stephen and Hot Club, and, they just really broadened our horizons musically as we learned, and I think that was really important.
And you found that when you hear those, it's funny when you hear those things that you weren't previously aware of, and we've all had this where you hear something and suddenly it speaks to you, right? And you think, oh, that's my music, and I didn't even know it,
Exactly, and you hear how things connect. Like you hear the Sons of the Pioneers, and then you're like, whoa, the Farr brothers are doing what Django's doing, and then you're learning in a very real-time sense, and then you're thinking, I love Marty Robbins, I love the Sons of Pioneers, and they love Django, and it all starts coming together.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, so we've talked about playing some clips of influences, and you sent us one of my personal favorite clips. I like them all, of course, but I love that this next one that we're going to see is one of the very few, is really only one of the 2 or 3 clips of Django Reinhardt that even exist, which is crazy to think of because it's very popular. Would you love to see, there's a thing on YouTube, I don't know if you all have seen it, of Django playing a gig at a place called the Baltabaran. And it's wild. He's got an amp, and it's his later years, and once he's gone electric, and it was shot for a newsreel. It's newsreel footage because they're shooting the audience and whatnot. But he's on there, and to see him actually in the context of a gig like we all play, it's nuts. It's crazy. But there's so little of him. And here's a good one. We're going to look at it now, I think, right? Let's look at J'attendrai. When he came to the States, he did a tour with Ellington's band. Anyway, he did a really great version of I'm Coming, Virginia with Coleman Hawkins. And that's a ballad, but it's a fast version. And you can just hear him chunking and playing and then takes a solo. It's just, to hear him in all these different contexts, we all love the Hot Club. But to hear him, like you say, with jamming with the Americans who loved his style as well, or a bigger band, it's neat.
I've heard you talk about the ball of sound too, about how you try to get the harmonies so close and the phrasing so close that it's hard to tell who's singing what, and that's always a magical moment when you're listening. Because you're so experienced at that, when you watch other vocal groups sing, are you able to pick out who's singing what?
Yeah. I think y'all are, when we're listening to people, we're trying to figure out who's singing what. It's a fun game. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you watch people for a while, generally you can see like somebody maybe singing for, you're like, yeah, they're singing high. Or just you start to, if they're not family, it's way easier too, because it's like, that so-and-so's voice sounds different. Yeah, so you just know their vocal tone or whatever.
One connecting theme between this episode that we're doing and the previous one is that in our last episode that Dave and I hosted, we did a tribute to Moon Mullican, and I know that you're fans of Moon Mullican, and that you did Every Which Way is a Mullican song. And I was just listening to the original of that again, and I love your arrangement of that. Even though there are vocal harmonies in the original, yours are much more interesting to me, the harmonies that you came up with. How did you find that song and decide to include that on your third album?
We had been listening, there's not a ton of recordings of Moon Mullican out there, but the ones that are out there are really cool. And we were just looking for mid-tempo, up-tempo kind of tunes that, lyrically, it's interesting. Sometimes it's hard to find good swing tunes if you're going back to the old archives that have lyrics that you're not like, ooh, those are lyrics.
Right. Yeah, right. They don't always work.
I hope someday you'll realize our love was meant to be, and every which way you love, I hope that love is me. Every which way I look, I always see your
face. Every which way I look, I see your face before me. Every which way I talk, I always call your name. I'm walking down a one-way street, trying to forget, but after all these lonely years, I find I love you yet. Every which way I turn, it seems you're right beside me. Every which way I go, it seems you're going too. I hope someday you'll realize our love was meant to be, and every which way you love, I hope that love is me.
part of the evolution of Moon Mulligan's tune, and I think that that's part of that. I mean, that river that flows through all this music, and connects and connects and connects, and now you're part of that continuum, which is cool. And so then that leads us to talking about, like you say, with progressive Western swing, you feel like now writing your own material that fits, but it involves your own personal input. So would you talk a little bit about that? Like when you started I don't even know how many originals now you guys have. We're going to show one here in a minute.
This one is one that Sophia and our bass player Dan wrote. It's called Load at 7, Leave at 8. And Grace named it because she was really asleep one morning. And she goes, "What are we doing? Are we loading at 7 and leaving at 8? And we were like, sounds like the name of the song right there.
What got you there? Tell us about that.
Oh, actually, I'll speak. Sophia was the first one that really got started kind of bringing more finished products to the table. Sophia actually wrote a song for my wedding, which was like the very first song you ever wrote, and she surprised me by writing a song for me at my wedding. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And then that kind of was the start of realizing, like, oh, well, we can kind of, maybe she can do it, so maybe I can do it, maybe you can do it. So that was kind of the start for us. And I mean, I think just like any other artist, you want to write your own stuff, and that's not really something we focus on a lot growing up playing, but it is something that we've talked about as we've gotten older, really wanting to do more and more of.
Songwriting was always something I was interested in, but for whatever reason, I just never was brave enough to like put anything out there until more recent times. I just kind of kept like scrapbooks of lyrical ideas, and I had like horrible cassette tapes of me singing things like in a closet because I was afraid of anyone hearing it or something. And none of that,
same thing.
None of that, has seen the light of day because, frankly, to make anything good, you have to make a lot of bad stuff. At least that's my experience. I think it's just a natural thing that a lot of musicians want to do. Like, oh, what could be our own song? The single off of our album is called "My Love, My Life, My Friend," and I wrote that one. And I kind of I had been listening to like a bunch of Jimmy Rogers or something. And for some reason, I just was like, oh, I want to try writing a song kind of like that. And I just started, messing around with different lyric and chord ideas. But what got the lyrics going was a poem by Emily Dickinson. The first line of it is that it will never, that it may, what is, I'm forgetting my own song. That it will never come again is what makes life so sweet. And I just thought that was so beautiful sounding. And then I started just sort of riffing off of that. And then I took it to the band, and Holden was like, well, how do you make it in to like a country shuffle, a Ray Price sort of thing? And then that ended up shaping it into something really cool. I liked Holden's idea. And so then we added kind of like the Tommy Jackson-esque kind of fiddle style to it, and that's what it turned into.
Emily Dickinson meets Ray Price.
Really good. That's really good. Let's hear it right now, shall we? Or let's watch it.
Yeah, let's watch a clip of that one now. This is the single off of their new CD, The Quaby Sisters.
That it will never come again is what makes life so sweet. I heard these words walking down a crowded city street. The morning rush was pressing me, my world was caving in. But now I have you by my side, my love, my life, my friend. Let's drown in every ocean, blow in every wind. We'll love the stars out of the sky. Our last kiss is the day we die. My love, my life, my friend. It's been a day I'd rather not remember, but I can. Everything that I've done wrong is written in the sand. I want the waves to wash away, but I'm standing on dry land. But then you came and rescued me, my love, my life, my friend. Let's drown in every ocean, blow in every wind. We'll love the stars out of the sky. Our last kiss is the day we die. My love, my life, my friend.
I love that though. See, that's more the melting pot, right?
Right.
Jimmie Rogers, Emily Dickinson, Tommy Jackson.
Yeah.
That's
Everyone
great.
was there.
Yeah.
Well, it came out beautifully. It's such a great nuanced songs, and the lyrics are beautiful too. It has such a great feel to it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well done.
So you said you got another favorite.
Oh yeah, the other one I wanted to ask about, yeah, just because one of the things we're talking about in this episode, as you say, is people who love this kind of music that are writing their own songs, kind of in this style, paying tribute, but also moving the tradition forward. But let's give that song a listen now. Here's "Pierce the Blue" from the Quaby Sisters.
Roosting in the branches where the shadows steal the day's romances, unaware there lies a snare. Cruel is the world and unfair. Ooh, reflecting pain in nature's eyes, one and all, without a prayer. Cruel is the world and unfair. Just like you, worn out and used, waiting for a ray to pierce the blue. When colors paint the tender view, the morning symphony rings their broken wings beyond repair. Cruel is the world and unfair. When colors paint the tender view, the morning symphony rings their broken wings beyond repair. Cruel is the world and unfair.
How have you been staying busy during this downtime, and when might you be out again touring? Especially, I want to know about California, of course, but what are future plans, or are they still sort of on hold for you?
I can answer the touring questions. I'm kind of the business person on that. We're just hoping to get back out there and start working again. So as soon as we can come to California, we'll be there.
We cannot wait to be back at Campus Jacks. We've had so much fun there before in the past, and we look forward to another show there in the future, maybe this year. That would be cool. Come out and see us. Really cool. I love y'all's show. I enjoyed watching some of the previous episodes, so thank you for having us on. Yes. Yeah, for real.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you again soon.
Y'all take care.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, the Quaby sisters from Burleson, Texas have been a big part of helping us keep the proud musical legacy of Bob Wills alive for several years. These lovely young ladies were a part of our musical, A Ride with Bob, and I thought they'd be perfect for helping us sleep at the wheel, cover this Texas Playboys tune called Along the Navajo Trail.
Every day along about evening, when the sunlight's beginning to pale, I ride through the slumbering shadows along the Navajo Trail. When it's night and the crickets are calling and coyotes beginning to wail, I sleep by the smoldering fire along the Navajo Trail.
I love to lie and listen to the music while the wind is strumming a sagebrush guitar, while over yonder hill the moon is climbing. It always finds me wishing on a star.
What do you know? It's morning already. It's the dawning, so silver and pale. It's time to climb into my saddle and ride the Navajo Trail.
first guitar, while over yonder hill the moon is climbing. It always finds me wishing on a star.
What do you know? It's morning already. That's the dawning, so silver and pale. It's time I climb into my saddle and ride the Navajo Trail. It's time to climb into my saddle and ride the Navajo Trail.
And ride the Navajo Trail. And ride the Navajo Trail.
And we are back. Let's check into Big Sandy's magical musical bunkhouse again and see what he's cooked up for you now.
Thank you, Mr. Burkhardt, and great job so far, one and all. In this segment, we're going to take a look at a progression of guitar players, each one an influence on the next, starting with the thumb-picking style of Kentucky-born Mose Rager, and working our way to the great Merle Travis and Chet Atkins. You'll also spot Don and Phil Everly in the mix in just a second. Their father, Ike, was also part of the story of this progression of pickers. But for now, let's kick it off with Mose Rager.
Oh, well, it rained 5 days and the sky turned dark at night. Well, it rained 5 days and the sky turned dark at night. Trouble taking place in the lowlands at night. Well, it thundered and it lightened and the wind began to blow. When I get you out of this bad cold. Well, it thundered and it lightened and the wind began to blow. Well, there's thousands of people ain't got no place to go. I can't move no more. That's a sad thing. Oh, I can't move no more. Well, my house fell down and I can't live there no more.
Oh, that's wonderful. What's that called, Rose?
Backwater Blues.
Oh, that's nice. Really nice.
That hammer, it's a little too heavy for my size, for my size. I'm going on the mountain just to see my baby, but I ain't coming back. Well, I ain't coming back. Roll on, buddy, don't you roll so slow. How can I roll when the wheels won't go? Roll on, buddy, pull your load of coal. Now how can I pull when the wheels won't roll?
darling, it's a long way to Hazard just to get a little brew, just to get a little brew. Now when I'm long gone, you can make my tombstone out of number 9 coal, out of number 9 coal. Roll on, buddy, don't you roll so slow. How can I roll when the wheels won't go? Roll on, buddy, pull your load of coal. Now how can I pull when the wheels won't roll?
Guitar greats, each one of them. And like I said before, it's all connected here on Eclectic American Roots.
I die if I try to fly. I tell my friends that I can't roll more. I tell my friends that I can't roll more. My wheels are flat, my bangs are kind of worn. I like to be able to give these cats a try. I like to be able to give these cats a try. But I'm too stiff to flip, loop to flop, and I die if I try to fly. I just sag, drag, and fall, can't have no fun at all. I just sag, drag, and fall, can't have no fun at all. I'm so tired, I never have a ball. Play it now.
Don't forget that you can find our past episodes archived on YouTube. Just go to the Stellar Jacks channel. Okay, a lot more coming up. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Well, we are extremely excited to have with us tonight a very good friend of mine and an amazing guitar player that I've had the good fortune Dave and I both have the good fortune to play with for many years. We met him originally when he was living in Los Angeles. Now he's up in Portland, has taken the music world up there by storm. Also an amazing guitar player and steel player. That's his second act has been quite amazing and impressive to all those who have heard it. Let's welcome Rusty Blake.
Howdy.
Yeah, man.
Howdy.
How are
Is any of
things
that
up-
true?
How are
Is
things
that
up-
true, Russ? You tell me. What do you think?
Yeah, the geography part was true.
He did move. That was a sad day when Russ moved from Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
The Los Angeles River was running with tears that day.
So
Yeah, that's right. People that don't know about the day job, tell them that, Russ. That applies.
yeah, I'm a what the fancy people call a luthier, or like a guitar fixer person.
Yeah.
Been doing that for a long, long time, and it's a great job. Affords me flexibility to do music, and now that music is affording me flexibility to do more of guitar work, I'm doing more of that.
Yep.
Give and take.
Well,
Give
it's
and
funny, right? Everybody takes this opportunity to say, "Oh, you know what? I need to get that neck fixed on my whatever." I need to get
How did you get interested in Americana, early American music?
Well, I always was from a really young age. I was always drawn towards older things, and I remember when the Sting came out, and I started hearing that Scott Joplin music, and I loved it, and I wanted the record, and I wanted to learn to make that sound, and so, my parents rented a piano, and my mom had to pick up extra shifts on the
Right.
shift waiting tables to pay for it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And so I did piano for a while, and then I think I saw Johnny Cash on TV, and I just loved that. And I was always, just drawn to that older styles of music.
well, in the before times, you still kept up, and we appreciate it too, coming down to play with the Lucky Stars all the time in Southern California. But you stay very busy in Portland, whether it's touring acts. Remember, you told me about touring out with Sleepy LaBeef, which is that's amazing. Or your various groups there, Pete Krebs and your various things with Ian Miller.
Yeah, it comes and goes. At one point in time, it was about 6 nights a week. Playing for upwards of $12 a night.
We were talking about in this show. We kind of took part of the direction of the show into players of a vintage style, whatever style that is, and then doing original material. So you have a new CD out.
Yeah.
Called Lowering the Bar. That includes original material.
Mm-hmm.
You've written original material that we've done in the Lucky Stars, one of which we're going to show on a clip here coming up. What's your feeling on that in terms of, we spend all this time learning the old styles and learning the old songs. So what's your take on, at what point do you feel like, I should write something, Well,
I think if you have an idea, I think pursue it. I don't think I ever sat down saying, well, I need to write my own things. I don't want to play these old ones. Just you fooling around on the instrument and something comes up and you kind of follow it and try to, build it into a song. Definitely, it's all very derivative. I try to kind of keep it in the style, but still maybe have some kind of new little twist on things. Is kind of what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
And what you succeed at doing too, your lyrics are always great. This is an instrumental CD that you put out, but you've written songs with lyrics in them, and they're all great too.
When I moved here, I didn't do any music, I think, for about the first 6 months or almost a year, and I was going around and seeing bands, and every band I went to see had an amazing guitar player. And I thought, well, maybe I can concentrate on the steel a little bit more, because I dabbled with it but never done too much. And then I went and I saw Ian and his sister Lisa and their band, Lisa and her Kin.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's great. They're playing great country style music, and he's a great guitar player. And so I weaseled my way into that eventually after hounding him for a couple months. And we took to each other right away. And we've been playing music, for the past, I'd say it's probably 12, 13 years now.
I was just going to say, I think that's a good cue to show you guys together, along with Pete Krebs, in our first little video musical offering. What do you think?
Okay. Yes, let's do it. It's so good. Ian is picking so hot that he blows his mask clear off.
Blew it right off.
Yeah, we had to take several takes to get that right.
So that's you and Ian Miller. I mean, you're all masked, so it's a little hard to tell. You're on the steel. Ian is on the guitar.
Yeah.
And on the rhythm guitar is your good pal and musical compatriot as well, Pete Krebs, correct?
Pete Krebs, you bet.
Who's been playing around Portland for even longer than you've lived up there.
Oh yeah, forever, since the 90s, since his grunge rock days.
Yeah. An amazingly talented guy too. Please check out Pete Krebs. All of his stuff, everything he does is great.
This is a funny story. When I had seen Pete play around, but I hadn't met him, and then I was looking in the Craigslist ads for musicians wanted. Just thought, well, let's see what's going on out there. And someone had posted, steel player wanted, vintage Western swing style. If you know the names, Joaquin Murphy and Herb Remington and Wade Boggs is what it said.
Oh.
And so I wrote back and I said, well, I think the first guy played with Spade Cooley and the second one played with Bob Wills and the third one played for the Red Sox.
And so we put together a little band, offshoot of the Lucky Stars, with the three of us and Wally Hersom and Jeremy Wake
available
earlier. Yeah. But in many recent years, it's been us four, and we've gotten to play, do this thing in Spain, and various parts around LA and that kind of thing. And people always seem to like it because they haven't heard it. It's not even what you normally think of when you think of Hawaiian music. So I think we've got a little clip of the Hot Shots to run here. And I say, let's do it. And let's hear Rusty play in the Hapahaoli style. How about that?
Well, all of the time in the tropical climb when they do that hula hula dance, I fell in love with a turtle dove while learning this funny dance. But this poor little kid, now she never did have a bit of loving before. So I made up my mind that struck to find the only girl I did adore. Well, I love a pretty little hopper hula girl. She's the kind to make you wiggle. Hula girl, sure make you giggle. Hula girl with a naughty little wiggle. Now someday I'm gonna find a little hopper girl of mine, all the time I'm dreaming of her. My hopper hula girl, yeah.
So I'm gonna tell a tale on you, and you can tell us about the background of the story. I know that you've been on Prairie Home Companion at least once, correct?
Twice.
Yeah. And that was with was that with Pink Martini?
First time with Pink Martini, yeah. Second time with Caleb.
With Caleb. Caleb Powder, folks, is a guy. Boy, is he good. He really he's up there in the Northwest, and I guess we don't hear about him as much as we should, but he's really, really great. He can play the Cajun style. He can play string band, early country. He can play hard honky tonk country, and his voice is perfect for that. And you get to play quite a few gigs with him, don't you?
Not as many as I'd like. Same as with you guys, not as often as I'd like. But
Yeah.
we're going to change all that.
Yes, you absolutely are. I mean, it's got to be a gas playing twin guitars with somebody as good as Ian. I mean, you guys can, or when you were on guitar with Jeremy Wakefield and the Lucky Stars, we used to watch you guys just sit down. Okay, you play that. How about you play this and I'll play that? Oh, wait, no, let's switch parts. Okay, let's do that. All right, let's try it. I mean, that's got to be just a joy.
It is, yeah. It's my very favorite thing, I think, in music is doing that, playing harmonized parts and working them out. Just sitting around bouncing ideas and laughing and just having a good time.
Yeah.
And Ian and I and Jeremy and I, in both situations, we spent countless hours, working on that stuff, and it's such a good time.
Yeah, sounds so good too. There's nothing. It's just like all that kind of stuff for me. Is that any combination of elements together that works? Is it's the sum of the parts kind of a deal. And I think it's that we were just talking with the Quabies, of course, 3 vocals, harmony vocals, harmony fiddles. I mean, it's just it's the whole thing.
And you can't fake the chemistry either. Either everything could be technically perfect and all of the melodies and harmonies just perfect. And if there's no spark there, then it's not going to sound the same. So to me, I can tell if the people that are playing with each other, or I think I can, if the people that are playing with each other like each other and are enjoying each other's company, and to me that comes through the sound of that comes through the music, and that's what I hear when I play what I hear when you play with Ian or Jeremy.
Yeah, both those guys, they're some of the best people I've ever known, and musicians, and
right. It's like you're listening to a friendship. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to tear up here, I think.
Right.
Restrain yourself. All right. But now talk a little bit about the next clip we're going to see on the that you shot for us.
Well, we mentioned Herb Remington, and he's the author of this next tune. And it's funny because when we were trying to make the video, Ian and I were saying, well, we've been trying to learn this song for about 10 years, and so we're finally maybe kind of almost getting it pretty close. But yeah, it's a great little twin guitar thing. It's on his great album called Steel Guitar Holiday.
So let's watch that video, shall we? Yeah. Sam and Oscar is the name of this tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take it away, Rusty Blake. this is Rusty Blake's CD, Lowering the Bar. A bunch of original songs on there that Russ wrote. He's playing with a bunch of great musicians from the Portland area. And I think it's an excellent example of the variety of sounds that can come out of the steel guitar, and the styles and sounds that you got out of there from song to song. It shows such a wide breadth of sound.
I highly recommend people check it out if they don't have it.
Yeah.
And also Herb Remington, we did a gig with him, Pappy, did we not?
We sure did. That was a wow. That I felt that feels now like a dream. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we got to play with him on one of Deke Dickerson's Guitar Geek festivals that he had. He brought Herb Remington out, and probably one of the best things is I got to drive him back and forth to his hotel. He was happy to talk about working with Bob Wills and everything else. He still had his first pay stub from Bob Wills in his wallet that he was happy to show. A lot of times those old timers don't like to talk about that, like what their glory days, because they feel like, oh no, I'm still doing stuff, you know. But he was happy to talk about it. Smart guy, right? Early pioneer in the pedal steel field, right? One of the first guys to work with that. And we got to play, man. We got to play San Antonio Rose with him, playing that part like it's on that record from Bob Wills. So
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Herb Remington.
Well, so Lowering the Bar is the CD, folks, and you don't want, you get that on Bandcamp, correct?
Yeah, Bandcamp.
And
what do you call it? CD Baby.
Yeah.
I think it's on all the streaming stuff. I don't know. This stuff's way over my head.
Thank you so much, bud. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
So long.
Big Sandy back. And I really hope you're enjoying the show so far. And now, from the ranch house here in Southern California, let's take a virtual flight to the Ozark Jubilee in Springfield, Missouri, to hear a guy from Kentucky sing about Birmingham, Alabama. You got that? Here's Red Foley.
Gives all the boys in the band back here a chance to be showing off, called Birmingham Bound. Boys. Heart of Dixie in Alabama, there's a place we love called Birmingham. Everybody starts rocking and shuffling their feet when the drum starts playing that solid beat. They'll black, come on, boy. Now everybody's dancing and jumping too when the music starts rocking. Nobody's blues, but a little rhythm with a solid sound. A boogie and a jump called the Birmingham Bound. Some like a horn with a valve in the middle. Some like the beat of a big bass fiddle. You mud black, I diddle diddle. We all like to dance to a hillbilly fiddle. Come on, boys. Now everybody's dancing and jumping too when the music starts rocking. Nobody's blue, but a little rhythm with a solid sound. A boogie and a jump called the Birmingham Bound. Come on, Johnny, Johnny. If you like your music going A to the bar, I know a way to make it best before. The beat to get you moving and you need a good start. Let's everybody dance to a steel guitar. Come on, play. Now everybody Everybody's dancing and jumping too when the rhythm starts rocking. Nobody's blue. A fun little rhythm with a solid sound. A boogie and a jump called the Birmingham Bound. Now whether it's hot and fine or sweet, if it's down in Dixie, it's got that beat. We don't have the moon, even the star, but here's that guitar going 8 to the bar, Grady Martin. Now everybody's dancing and jumping too when the music starts rocking. Nobody's blue. A fun little rhythm with a solid sound. A boogie and a jump they call the Birmingham Bound. When you come down south and you want a good time, just come to the Jubilee when you're feeling fine. Now that's all it takes to spend a happy time. Let's all dance together and have a wonderful time. Everybody's dancing and jumping. With a solid sound, a boogie and a jump called the Birmingham Bound.
Ain't got no gal that I can call my own. She did me untrue, she's from San Antone. I'm out of luck, gonna try once more. Gonna find me one that doesn't know the score. She'll fry my eggs and maybe burn my toast. I don't care, that's the kind I want most. When I want some love, she'll be around. I don't want to chase her all over the town. She like my kind of living, and when things are really rough, she'll do a lot of giving and never say enough. I want some love and really need it bad. I got the blues and I'm really sad. Got quite a lot, I got a car and home, but ain't got no gal that I can call my own. That I can call my own. She did me untrue, she's from San Antone. I'm out of luck and gonna try once more. Gonna find me one that doesn't know the score. She'll fry my eggs and maybe burn my toast. I don't care, that's the kind I want most. When I want some love, she'll be around. I don't want to chase her all over the town. She'll be a redhead, blonde or brunette. Her eyes gray, blue or brown. She'll raise a patches, she'll still yet. She'll never wear a frown. Now if you think that you could wear that shoe, step right up, we'll see what you can do. You'll be a one-man woman, and that man alone. That's the kind of gal that I could call my own.
Joe. Real great.
All right. One last beautiful look at our pal Shorty Joe and all his boys coming to us live from San Jose, California. And then winding it all up, just like I started, with the great Joe Zinkin on bass. 4-Leaf Clover. Friends, we feel mighty lucky that you stopped by to visit with us here at the ranch. And to show our appreciation, we offer you this special presentation. Here once again are Dave Stuckey and Sage Guyton. Take it away, gentlemen.
Well, it sure has been a great time getting a chance to talk to all our friends, especially during these times when we're all separated and hard to keep the contact going. But this is a unique opportunity to do that. And in that spirit, Dave and I, if you don't mind, Pappy, if we could maybe share a song that we have written together that means a lot to us and kind of speaks to some of the challenges of these times.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. Shall we do that right now?
Why don't we meet? Let's meet out by maybe by your garage. Is that cool?
Absolutely. I'll meet you there.
Okay, good. See you there.
All right. Okay, good.
You're supposed to get over down there.
All right.
Howdy, friends. It's your good pal Pappy here.
That's right. And it's your equally good pal Sage.
We got our hats on to protect ourselves from the sun. We got our masks on to protect ourselves from each other. Out here in front of the old garage to sing another song for you today.
That's right. And the best part about it is we writ the tune.
We sure hope you like it. The name of the song is called
Right Out of My Mouth.
Fine, and you count it.
1, 2, 3.
You took the word right out of my mouth. Now you sure have an irksome way of saying what I'm about to say. And just as I begin to do it, you cut in and beat me to it. You took the words right out of my mind. Sing one, Sage.
We were on our way downtown just to fool around to see if Jenny Lee would walk our way. For when she came round the corner, I knew I was a goner. But before I said a word, you made your play.
You took the word right out of my mouth. Now you sure have an irksome way of saying what I'm about to say.
I was set to pitch some woo. I guess you were just pitching too, 'cause
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Sing one, Pappy.
At a local Sunday cookout, I was on the lookout for a piece of Jenny's famous apple pie. Then you went and pulled a fast one when you said,
I'll take the last one.
Before I even had a chance to try, you took the word right out of my mouth. Right out of my mouth. Now you sure have an irksome way of saying what I'm about to say. You know that wasn't very nice. Cut in line and steal my slice. You took the words right out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Easy for you to say.
That's our show. The Ranch House Picking Party is one of dozens of episodes of our Eclectic American Roots series that you will find on Facebook every Sunday at noon Pacific Time. And all our music shows are archived on YouTube at the Stellar Jacks channel. Please subscribe. Lots of good stuff yet to come. Please donate to the cause to help support our roots musicians during the damn panic. Go to stellarjacks.com, and on Venmo, it's Jack's Hideaway. See you next time.